Being honest and fair in evaluating yourself and others in love is a journey of a lifetime. You learn it little by little, and it is difficult and can be scary. Hello, my fellow humans. I'm Katrina, and I am owned by love. I'm hoping in this video as a goal to be able to help you to feel better about having a balanced approach, about looking at yourself and looking at your everyday situations in life concerning yourself and others in a way that is less scary. I'm going to first use a verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 12 and 13 to help give a template of things that can be used to be able to evaluate reasonably. For now, we see indistinctly as in a mirror. But then, face to face. Now I know in part. But then I will know fully, as I am fully known. Now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. I've only quoted 2 verses out of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I really suggest that you read the whole thing of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It shares all the ways that love is. Love is kind, love is gentle, and many other ones. In place of where it says love, first put God. So read it all the way through and put God is kind and gentle. And remember that God is these things first, since he is love, according to 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. Focusing only on the verses I quoted, verse 12 and 13 of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Verse 12 shows us that right now we don't even see clearly. It says we see through life from like a mirror. Back when Paul wrote this, a mirror was made out of a metal where you could see pretty well, but it wasn't perfect seeing. It wasn't as good as our mirrors now. And so it is when we evaluate ourselves and look in all of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, although God is perfect in all of the ways of love, and we can see partly what that means. Evaluating ourselves, we can do the best we can with where we are at for now. This should make it a lot easier and a lot less scary because God already knows it. He already knows that we're going to struggle into growing in love and becoming Christ-like, and he already knows that you can only partly see for now. To help you see how to evaluate things in a more balanced way, I'm going to take one of my own personal stories of my own life that I work through and apply these ideas to be able to come balanced in the ideas of love, of where I should be growing in love and where I may be doing okay, being honest and fair. Lately, I've been considering the idea of weaknesses and how we all have them. And to be honest and fair, we all have them. Also, I realize that weaknesses can sometimes actually be gifts if we calm down and look at them. A good example of showing a weakness being a gift and showing an obvious weakness is my special needs son. My special needs son needs a lot of help. He doesn't speak real well, and he needs help walking. He can walk, but it's more difficult for him. And it's obvious that he has weaknesses. His weaknesses has ended up being a gift to me and many other people because he's so sensitive. Since he can't speak and other things, he uses a different part of himself to see what's going on inside other people. When you're around him, if you are frustrated and things are going on the inside of you, even if you have a smile on your face, he will react to what's inside of you. He sees the inside genuine you better than you see yourself. He is like a stronger mirror to you and everyone around. In that way, although he has weaknesses that are obvious, his weaknesses end up being a gift. Unlike my son, my weaknesses are not so obvious. They are more on the inside, where they're not easily seen, which I believe is most of our cases, that we have a lot of things going on the inside. Seeing our own weaknesses is difficult on its own sometimes. We can't even tell what we're weak in. And when we do see our weakness, our other trait is to get down on ourselves and always be down on ourselves. This does not help us to see clearly or to see properly. Instead of using these tools, I went to Father with one specifically that I had working up for me at the moment. I've been feeling not so good about being here in Germany for 6 years and not being able to speak German as well as I believe that I should at this moment. I took this problem in prayer to Father, and he showed me some things about this, that there were some things that were happening at work that it actually benefited and was a gift to my job. My job is going international, and so we have more English-speaking customers. Not a lot, but they're growing. The company, everyone that worked there, spoke mostly German. They actually can speak English, they just don't feel good about speaking the language. It so happens that my weakness in learning the language fully yet has helped them to get stronger in English and therefore made our company stronger. This gives no excuse for me to be lazy. I still need to learn the language. And honestly, being fair with myself, learning languages is difficult for me. I'm slower at it. It doesn't mean I can't, I'm just slower. Respecting that is a balance of being patient and kind and gentle with myself, as Father is patient and kind and gentle with myself. This helps me to understand as well that I can be more patient and kind and gentle with others because I may not be able to see their weaknesses or understand their weaknesses, even though I can't even see my own very well either. And therefore, if I sit back and relax for a while and ask Father to help me, I might be able to see how their weakness may be a strength, or at least how I can have patience and it can strengthen me on the inside. This reminds me of a great verse in scriptures in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. I'll read that to you now. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 reads, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness." This is what Christ said to Paul when he prayed about one of his weaknesses that was given to him. And in the same way, any weakness we have has the opportunity of glorifying Christ in his power, in the blood that he has. When we are weak, he is strong. The verse goes on to say, "Therefore, I will boast most gladly all the more about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may reside in me." We glorify Father, we glorify Christ by allowing ourselves to be weak and realizing it's okay to be weak. They already know that we were going to be weak. We're just children growing and learning. So, I take pleasure in weakness, insults, catastrophes, persecutions, and in pressures because of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. When we consider ourselves weak from a lowly state, and we recognize that we can accept the love of Father, we can still accept it because he fully accepts us through the blood of Christ. We can accept ourselves and see ourselves better right now, so that we can also be compassionate and respectful towards others and apply the same patience that Father applies to us, that we get to apply to ourselves, and then we get to apply to everyone else. We see for now indistinctly as in a mirror. We see ourselves partly. We see others partly. Our weaknesses are still here and will be here until the end, until the Messiah returns. Since that's the truth, we need the strength of a Father who is perfect, perfect in love, who is patient and kind and gentle, and he is towards every single one of us. We can give ourselves a break today. We can go ahead and accept that patience and kindness and gentleness by being that way towards ourselves, because that is the way he is, and therefore we see as he sees. If we can accept that and do that for ourselves, we then understand how much we need that love, that patience and gentleness, kindness and compassion. And because we feel that need, we understand that other people in their weaknesses that can be perceived or not perceived, that we can extend the same things that we need, which is the same patience, gentleness, kindness, compassion. We can do this because in the end, what it says, there are only three things that remain: faith, hope, and love. I have faith that Father's goodness through the Messiah, Jesus Christ, is strong enough in our weakness that we still make it. We still have the victory. We can go forward, and everyone around me is coming with me because the blood is that strong. I have hope that we can grow in grace and knowledge. We can for sure, because Father made sure there was a way for us to do it, and Christ would never give up on us, ever. Neither will God the Father. Therefore, we don't have to give up. Keep going forward. We already have the victory. And love will remain in us forever and ever. And part of love is in our weakness, understanding his perfection in them and being able to understand that that perfection happens in everyone else's weaknesses too. This is an honest and balanced approach to being able to handle everyday situations when it comes to evaluation of ourselves and others. If this has been helpful to you, I ask you to share it with others. And I thank you for coming.